Imagine this. I had a client that sit here and was temporarily homeless. And one of the things that she kept doing was, I'm just being blunt with it, lying to yourself or lying to herself. So when she told me, I asked her how long she'd been in a situation where she's sleeping in the car. And she said, oh, it's just for about a month. But then I remembered and started talking to other people that know her. She's actually been sleeping in the car for almost like 5 to 6 months. And coming to find out, it was that in many cases that you can condition yourself to stay stuck. I mean, most people make it a habit. One of the things that James Clear talked about in Atomic Habits was how we program ourselves on habits. And one of the habits that most people do is an identity habit. And you live into that identity of your beingness, even if it's not really serving you. It's one of those things where if someone was smoking, right, and they decided to quit, and so instead of leaving, so what they do, they end up leaving a door open to go back to it. Because I know a couple other people, other clients that I had that did this. One young lady quit because she went to, she had to quit because her doctor told her to quit because she's getting ready to have an operation. And she quit. And believe it or not, she really quit. Skin came back, complexion came back, taste buds, she be able to taste the food and everything else came back and all this other stuff. I mean, she quit for like almost 2 to 3 months. Had the surgery, knee replacement and everything else. And then she said she had some trigger at work and somebody was smoking. And that's when she picked the cigarette back up. But if she had an identity of saying, I don't do that anymore, I don't smoke, that's a totally different identity than say I used to smoke. It's a totally identity to say, hey, I'm going through a temporary financial situation. That's a temporary identity. But if you start using words that keeping you in certain situations, like for an example, words I don't use. I really don't use them. Is struggle. I don't use try. I don't use hard. I don't use, there's quite a few other words. For an example, I don't even use good morning, great day. That's why I use great day instead of good morning, because your subconscious mind don't know if you morning or not. I don't care how you spell that word. Then at the same time, somebody, whoa, you start looking at your words. When you start looking at your words, you start looking at your life, because your life mirrors your words. Because you're out of the heart, your life speaks, your word speaks. You declare and decree. So if you sit here and literally start watching your words, flip the words to empower you. Even the Bible sit here and said, if you feeling sick, say I'm healthy. If you feel like you're lacking, no, I'm wealthy. I'm telling you, if you're not feeling loved, I am lovable. And see what you starting to attract. People love me coming around. People enjoy my presence. At the same time, I enjoy those who have like minds. Go right back to this young lady who was homeless. She conditioned herself with all the resources out here to still be homeless, even though she was working a full-time job. Now, Is there some mental issues there? Yes. And a lot of us who've been working with her is trying to get her some help, because I think there's some other mental issues there. But that's the same thing with a lot of people I ran across in paths. One man said he wanted to be like Jesus, so he decided to give up everything to be homeless. And then I had to tell him, I said, Jesus was never poor. Jesus was never poor. With 3 gifts given to him, because one of the things that God always did to anybody he called to minister or to build his kingdom, he gave them resources to build. Even in the Garden of Eden, they had gold in the Garden of Eden. Abraham, make your name great. He gave him a lot of stuff, a blessing. King Solomon, King David. You talk about, he always supplied. Even Jesus always supplied. One of the things, if you get in the construct of religion, which is more or less demonic than it is Christ filled, because Christ didn't come to build a religion. God never made us to build a religion, but he made us to be stewards in kingdoms, to serve people. And one of the things that even Jesus, when he was born, he had 3 gifts given to him by wise men. Not 3 wise men. God do not work on limits. He's an abundant God. 3 gifts. And you don't know how many wise men. But like us, anytime you have an accountant on your team, Jesus did. He told him to go to the fish and get the money out the fish to pay the taxes. Broke people don't tell somebody to go get something, to pay something. They do it themselves. So me saying that is that if you want to build your confidence up, if you want to build your self-esteem up, if you want to build who you are, and show up bigger in this world, guess what? Watch your vocabulary. Watch your mindset. And if you feel really bad, I'm going to tell you this, for somebody who actually loves the gym, go for a walk. Go for a walk. Stop moving. Stop moving your body. Let me know if you want to go deeper in this. Because if you want to go deeper in this and you want to have a one-on-one with me, just go into your DM me, reset, and we'll talk about where you want to go. But man, I'm telling you, let's make 2026 the best year. Even though, despite of anything else that's going on, let's make 2026 the best year. Talk to you later.